Good afternoon. I'm Amy Jackson. I'm the president of the Catoosa County Chamber of Commerce, and I have Loretta Bell here with me today for this edition of Catoosa Connects. We're members of the Chamber, the Catoosa County Chamber of Commerce. Loretta, appreciate you being here with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
So we just had a fun event a little bit earlier today. Loretta is a part of the ambassadors, the Chamber ambassadors. It's a group of we had about 35 people there today. And so the Chamber was able, Debbie Hughes is our membership coordinator, and she set up a really nice lunch with Fort Oglethorpe City Council lady Rhonda James. And we were able to say thank you, Loretta, for all that you do as part of the ambassadors. So the ambassadors are I always call you kind of the hospitality arm of the Chamber. And they're total volunteers. They're Chamber members that work it into your business plan, essentially, to be a little more active in the Chamber and come to a few more events and things like that. So how long have you been a Chamber ambassador?
4 years.
Okay, so I thought it'd been a while. So I've been with the Chamber for about 5.5 years, and I was actually, I'm going to date myself way back, but I was actually a Chamber ambassador when we moved back to Catoosa County. I grew up in Chattanooga, and we kind of moved away for a dozen years. My husband and I did, and in about 2000, I was a Chamber ambassador. So I've been on both sides of that and enjoyed being a Chamber ambassador. But I always tell people the Chamber could not do the things that we do without the volunteers, just like you, Loretta, that we have. So. It's invaluable to all that group does for the community and for the Chamber to allow us to do the program. So we were very glad today to be able to host. We had our restaurant of the month provided the food today. We got catering from Pam's Place.
Very good.
So if you haven't tried them in Ringgold, you need to try Pam's Place. They're open for business. You can go and sit down and eat, but they also do catering. And what do we have? We had baked spaghetti.
Baked spaghetti and a vegetarian.
That's right. So and
grape salad,
and it was so good. And then I think, did y'all have the strawberry cake? I missed the cake.
Yes.
So that was a special request I know that we had for the strawberry cake. That's kind of one of the things that they're known for. So check out Pam's Place in Ringgold if you've not done that. It's on Lafayette Street, kind of near the Dollar Tree and right in that area near the post office, right near there. So, well, Loretta, tell us a little bit about your business. So again, I appreciate you being a Chamber ambassador, but I know that's not what you do full time. So what's your business, and tell everybody about that?
Well, my business is Essential Health, and basically what we do is we help you become healthier naturally. I help you more one-on-ones, but I also do groups and classes. I've been doing what I do actually for 15 years. I haven't had the business here in Chattanooga and Catoosa, but maybe 5 years, 5 years or so, ongoing. And what I do is I work with people individually, but also in classes and groups. I can come into your corporate office and help you with, for example, I'm going to do some examples here today with you on neck. We all have issues with our neck and our shoulder. We carry a lot of stress here.
Looking at that computer screen too long.
Looking at that computer or texting, or even if you're driving. A lot of people we know for the Chamber, we all drive a lot.
Yep.
From place to place, or meeting with clients or customers or patients. And we want to customize what we're doing for you. So if your neck situation might be different than someone else's.
Sure.
So that's why it's very important that I like to make that connection with my customers, my clients. And even if I'm not here, if we don't meet in person, we can certainly do it via Zoom, or Facebook. Technology is both our friend and our foe, as we know from COVID.
I know during COVID, though, you did a lot of that.
Did a lot of classes.
Even did yoga, right, online?
Yes, I do a lot of online. I also have a YouTube channel. So you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social medias.
Just in case anyone wants to check that out, we'll say this again, but what are some ways people can find more information out about your company?
They can find me at Essential Health LL for Loretta Lynn, essentialhealth.com, also beyogaful.com. Those all lead to my website, and from there you can find me on social media, whatever your preference is. But I do have on YouTube, it is Be Yogaful, and what's my other one? I have two, I think. Well, the other one's more of a private thing. We travel a lot, so if I'm traveling, I'm still able. She's a big biker,
y'all.
Bike riding and camping.
Doesn't think anything about biking 65 and 75 miles. She and her husband. I'm always amazed of some of the trips that y'all take, and I love to see the pictures on social media.
Thank
That's
you.
always fun.
It's a lot of fun. We meet with a lot of other people around the world, around the country, and around the world. So we travel, and obviously we don't do that every day, but on the longer organized trips we do, but I can do the yoga from anywhere. I can work with clients. I usually know in advance, or if someone texts me they're at a seminar and they're tired and they can't stay awake, I'm like, well, what do you have in your purse, or what do you have nearby? And I can give them some tips and techniques from yoga to essential oils to help with that, or just really anything. And so that's, a big part of what I do is obviously it's the yoga, helping people de-stress, have more energy, more focus, more clarity. And there's been decades of research and clinical studies done for both yoga, essential oils, and Ayurveda, if you're familiar with that, which is the sister science of yoga. Okay. We help you plan your meals as well as your exercise. So it's a lifestyle. You can take as much or as little as you want, and
just make it work for you.
Make it work for you. But again, if you're you're going to yoga once a week, but then you're going to fast food restaurants, don't expect it to work.
It all works together.
Yes, you have to kind of slowly. We make those increments.
So modifications are good.
Yes, everything in. Sometimes you have to take baby steps.
Sure.
And we all fall off that wagon.
But
sometimes.
The new year is coming, so I mean, it's hard to believe, but it's in the middle of December. So New Year's, New Year's resolutions are right around the corner, right? So maybe this is something to think about.
Aspirations, and holding each other accountable. I think that's what most of us like, is we want that accountability factor.
Sure.
We want to know that, I started that, and of course most people fall off. The gym memberships in February and March really falls off, or they'll pick it up again for summer's coming, I got to get into that bikini. Or bathing suits.
Sure.
They want to look good. And the holidays, of course. Some people will lose weight right before the holidays. And really, if you start with that, it takes 21 days to make a good habit, as you're aware, only one time to break it. But there are ways to be consistent and change your habits for good. So you may drive by, if you're hungry and you're on the way home, you're not going to stop at a fast food place unless, of course, it's Chick-fil-A. Healthy salads,
There you go.
But we learn some of the healthier habits, planning the night before, bringing healthier snacks with you, knowing when you can stop and take a break, and just incorporating that into your lifestyle.
And that's something, I'm very guilty about that, not stopping in my day. Some days I sit at my computer all day long. I've got a lot of work to get done, and I just have to get it done. And I know I'd be much healthier to get up and walk around and take just get some fresh air.
Eating. But I try to tell people to get away from your desk. Don't sit at your desk during lunch. I was guilty of that for a long time in the corporate world, and even working from home.
Sure.
I can lock myself in the office, and sometimes I'm blessed. My husband will come in and go, "Do you need some lunch?" And one time I was doing a live, and he brings me food, and I'm like, no,
not now, thanks.
Yes. So yes, just planning. Just take a little bit of planning. I mean, we're not going to be perfect. I'm not the perfect yogi, but I try, because you'll notice it too. If you fall off, you'll notice how you're eating healthy, you feel great, you have energy, you can make decisions like this. But when you start feeling sluggish or tired, especially in the afternoons, or you just want to take a nap and you just can't make the decisions, you've got brain fog, that's a sign that you need to check are you drinking enough water? Are you eating enough of your fruits and veggies, or taking a supplement, a natural whole food supplement that's going to help, that's going to be absorbed into the body.
Gotcha. That's all good information. I'm listening. You're not preaching to the choir this time, because I need to hear everything you're saying, apparently. So you talked about maybe doing something with our neck.
Yes. Okay, we're going to start.
I'm ready.
As I start with all my classes, and even just educational notes, we start with breathing. Most people are unaware that there's proper breathing, and I do have some videos on my YouTube channel to teach you some of the ways to breathe, because a lot of us, when they get stressed, are like, just breathe. Well, if you're doing this and you're hyperventilating, or you're tense, you're anxious, or whatnot, we'll start with a simple, basic 4 count to 8 count breathing. And that helps get your mind in focus too. So if you're sitting at your desk and you need to take a break, you're overwhelmed with all these projects, the holidays coming up and family coming into town, we tend to put a lot of stress on ourselves. So we're going to start just by breathing in through the nose and try to bring it down slowly all the way into the diaphragm.
Okay.
So as you breathe in, try to count to 4 seconds or 8 seconds if you can. And then as you feel that coming in through your nose, down your throat, all the way through the lungs into the diaphragm, maybe hold that for 4 seconds.
Okay.
And then we're going to slowly exhale, letting it come out through the nose. Now, sometimes, if you're really anxious, you can let it out through the mouth, but we prefer in through the nose to help it filter. And as you exhale through the nose, then it's a little bit slower too. You're not going to hyperventilate.
Does that kind of slow your heart rate down?
Slows your heart rate down.
I can feel that.
Your brain. You can feel it, and you'll feel it in your shoulders. Your body will just go.
Yeah.
And it does. It feels wonderful.
One thing I notice is that when I'm working too, I tend to hump over, and I'm a tall person, so that's something I'm conscious of anyway. And so I feel like when I push my shoulders back, and
so I remind people shoulders back, and then sometimes we just need to inhale and bring the shoulders up, and exhale slowly, let them down. Sometimes you can just drop them.
Feels good, y'all.
Inhale up, and exhale, letting it all out. And again, you can do that a few times. And even that can help if you're getting anxious or nervous. You don't have to speak really fast in a meeting or try to get everything out. We tend to want to, hurry up and get as much out as we can, and then people aren't going to retain that. They're not going to hear that. So, and that's not helping you, because then you're going to be fumbling over your thoughts, your words, your decisions. So
I've heard me, I talk very quickly. Sorry.
Habit, even for us Southern. That's one thing I learned when I moved back to the South, was you need to slow your roll. You need to, so take a breath. It's kind of like when you're eating, put your fork down. Yeah. People just do this.
Right.
And that's one thing, it's not good for your digestive system. So it's part of that lifestyle.
It's good reminders, especially this holiday time, the hustle and bustle of things. We all kind of forget. It's okay to slow down. It's all right to take a little bit of a pause, and whether it's a vacation day or just a 15-minute walk around the park, so
get some fresh air. Even when it's cold out there, we still like to walk around the neighborhood, say hi to the neighbors.
Although today is beautiful if you haven't been outside. I know we had some storms, but today is really nice.
Yeah, it's really it's not too cold. There's not winds. The sun's out, so it's a great time to take a breather. If you can go outside or go for a walk, I always encourage this to people when I had a friend of mine call me last week who was stressed and overwhelmed about all the stuff going on with work, doing their own business, and instead of texting each other some tips and techniques or some apps you can use.
Okay. There are apps for relaxation?
Yes, there's apps for relaxation, for meditation, and you've got to find what works for you. The same way for yoga. You want to find, someone that you can connect with, or different yogis, different teachers. And some of them may be online, some may be in person. Of course, we always recommend in person, because you really pay attention, then I think you're not distracted by what may be going on around you. So I got on the phone with a friend of mine last week, and this person got up from their desk where there were piles of paper and lots of stuff distracting them, went for a walk, went outside, and went into nature, and we just talked for about 45 minutes or
calming,
so. Very calming, because thankfully we were able to just have a nice conversation, and that really helped clear their minds. So that's really nice.
I will say Loretta is a part of one of our Chamber Leads groups, our Leads at Lunch group that meets every Tuesday at noon at Farm to Fork. And I know you've presented, I've seen you present several times, and she always has great ideas about things for in this case, you're trying to help people improve their business, so improve themselves, so that they have more stamina and clearer thinking and all that for their businesses. And so she always has really good ideas and good. And one of them I know we've talked about before and we've done is the coloring, right? You do?
Coloring, yes. Coloring, I do art therapy as well, art healing. And there's lots of clinical studies proving the efficacy of yoga as well as art therapy or art healing. And a lot of times you don't realize the benefits that you're getting both psychologically as well as physiologically. So it's good if you can combine, even if, like I said, if you do 5 minutes, people don't realize 5 minutes of going for a walk is considered yoga. It's meditation. You're doing the pranayama, the breathing techniques, art therapy, even coloring. A lot of adults like to color, and that's been very popular lately, but you're starting to see and hear more about how that's benefiting even CEOs of companies, because they're learning to think outside the box. They're learning to be more creative, make better decisions.
How about that?
So
I've seen the adult coloring books and things like that, that you can either use colored pencils or markers, whichever.
Crayons, whatever you want. I would go to restaurants and I would sit there and doodle. I didn't care. As an adult, I've done that for years. And,
Right.
So I thought what we might do, for the, if I could jump back to the necks real quick.
Sure.
In addition to the breathing and doing circles and also, stretching, giving yourself a couple of neck exercises. You just stretch it, sometimes just gently, and breathing in, again, filling, and try to do that for 5 or 6 breath cycles for each side, and then you do the other side. There's a lot of things you can do sitting in your chair, at a desk, on the couch. A lot of people couch potatoes. If you're watching a lot of TV and you want to get some...
All you people that work at home, we know you.
Yeah, so like I say, we're too busy sitting on our phones doing the Facebook and whatnot, keeping up. Which social interaction is good, but you should try to limit it, and especially don't do it before bed, because I have people telling me they can't sleep at night. Yoga Nidra, I'm telling you, just feet up the wall is the best thing. But cat-cow, a lot of people are familiar with when you inhale, you're going to bring the shoulders back and down, but not too hard. Everybody's different. You don't want to overextend yourself or hurt yourself.
Sure.
So just breathing in, shoulders back and down, and you're dipping your hip points usually towards the floor, away from you. And as you exhale, you're going to slowly roll your shoulders forward, drop your head, and exhaling it out slowly. And that's kind of where you get the arch for the cat. That's your cat.
Okay.
And then when you're coming, and you want to do about 3 to 6 of these to help you relax. And this one's really good, especially, again, for the computer. A lot of computer users, a lot of people on Zoom all day.
Sure.
You could still be on Zoom and sit here and slowly be doing little micro movements. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's been studies showing that even just the micro movements are going to benefit you.
That's awesome. Yeah, my husband works at home, so I need to get him to, and he does. He literally sits in front of a computer or all day long, so a screen. So those would be great little habits to come into. So, what's a phone number for you, Loretta? Just in case somebody's tuned in just recently, I want them to know about your business real quick.
Thank you. Yes, the best number to reach me is 423-605-4719.
It's Loretta Bell, and she's with Health Essentials. Okay, so you've handed me a piece of paper.
Piece of paper. So one of these fun, and a lot of art healing is done based on the person too. As I get to know people, I can pick and choose which exercises I think they can benefit from. Some of these you can go and do again later in a different style or format. So you got this beautiful piece of paper here, and as we know, we like to take notes or draw or doodle.
I'm a note taker.
A lot of us are huge note takers. So crinkle it up. Now that's the expression I have. That's the expression I get. So those of you, if you're perfectionists, if you do that, okay. So what do you do? Now you think,
I gotta throw it away.
No, we don't. It's still a perfectly usable piece of paper.
It's still plain and white.
Plus you can. There may be a tear in it.
Something fun to do with your kids too, y'all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
You may have a little tear in it. You may have, whatever piece of it may be torn out. But what's great about that, like you said, it's still usable. I mean, you may not turn in a presentation like this, but you can certainly take this. We can draw on it. You can still write. I can write. One of the exercises I like to tell people is, now take this piece of paper that we've crinkled up and just draw some windows. Draw a couple of windows, 1 window, 2 windows. Draw them different styles, different sizes. Okay.
I'm laughing because my windows are square windows and your windows are rounded edges.
Well, they're kind of oval. Yeah, I'm doing both. I like to do all different types of windows. You can do crescent,
well, mine are rectangular.
Mine
they have sharp corners, I will say.
It's okay. So you're going to fill
That probably says something about me. I don't know what. But.
So as you can see, the paper's still usable. You can still use it for lots of purposes. Even handwrite, a phone number, a message, a recipe on there. So now that you have your windows on there, now we're going to take a pen or whatever you have, or marker. You can use whatever you have handy. You don't have to get special paper, special pens or pen. And you're going to write down, I'm going to give you the word time. And when I say time, what comes to mind? I want you just to start writing whatever you want. This is just for you. Nobody's going to see this but you, unless you care to share it with someone. So you can be writing as you're writing across the page. You can write upside down, cursive, print. You can turn your paper and write however you like. What time means to you? Do you have enough time? Do you want more time? What would you do if you had more time? So just pretend I'm writing here. I'll let you keep writing.
Yeah, I'm writing.
Give you a few minutes here. this
Don't
is
watch me in therapy. That's okay. It's all good.
So we'll give you a minute. So time obviously is a commodity. It's not something we'll ever get back.
Right.
So it's important to a lot of us because resources, money comes, money goes. You can make money over again, but time is
And that's what I put. It's
intrinsic.
precious.
Precious. Yeah, but you can write sentences. If I had more time, so I want you to write sentences all the way across. If I had, and just keep writing. If I had, and then turn it around. You can write over that. Write again over that. Now the next step, normally I would give people a little bit more time, but I don't think they want to sit here and just stare at us.
Right. No, probably not.
So normally I would bring out the, actually I have some. I'm going to bring out the,
Y'all hang in there with us.
Hey.
This is fun.
I'm sorry, my bad.
She's. Oh, you got the pretty markers.
I did bring
now.
some alcohol markers. I mean, you can use colored pencils, paint. I've done this with paint, so you can pick out whatever colors you want. You can do one color, two colors, and just take some fun markers. And now we're going to take this and we're just going to scribble
Oh, Lord.
all over. Just cover it all up.
You know I'm a rule follower. This is hard on me.
Rule follower. Ooh, okay. So we've got that. Maybe you want more. Maybe you want less. Maybe you're just going to go around. So, and yes, the colors do say something about you, but we're not going to go into that.
Okay,
today.
let's not talk about that yet.
So now you have, as you see, we have this wonderful piece of paper that says a lot about who we are, and we've talked about time. You mentioned how precious it is.
Right.
And what were some of the things, if you don't mind sharing, that came to mind?
I just said time is brief.
Brief.
Time for me is experience, so that you're experiencing things during the time. For me, it's busy, and especially for a lot of people this time of year. And I think even in COVID, when things, after things started opening back up, I think we all felt like we had to make up for some lost time,
Still
right?
People say that every day.
So passing, time is passing. And I said if I had more time, I would travel more.
Travel more. Okay,
So-
great. So with what you just said, and that's what a lot of people want. They want if they had more time. So going back to our windows, you
Yep.
can probably still see your windows on there.
my windows.
So what I would like you to do is, if you want, take another marker, and you can use whatever colors again if you want. Do each one different or each the same.
Okay.
And this is a great exercise for you to do at home as well. And again, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. So from here, you're going to go back to those windows. You can decorate them. You can make them pretty. Because this is just for you. This is something you can keep or not. You can throw it away when you're done. So we're decorating our windows. Now, think about, as you're doing each of these windows, I want you to think about, okay, if I had more time, like say you have some small windows. If you had a small window of time, you could put a small project in there. Like what are some of the things you would do if you had an extra hour a day? Or
I should put a book in there because I'm not. I used to
There
be
you
a
go.
reader, but I
There
don't
you
take the time.
take the time.
anymore.
You got to make the time
So,
because what happens when we read?
Oh, it's relaxing and,
Very
and,
relaxing.
and entertaining. Quite frankly, it's you go to those places that
Yeah,
you
you
read
can
about.
kind of get away from your responsibilities, everything, expectations,
Sure.
and stress of our lives. So you can put in one of your windows. You can put book, read a book,
Gotcha.
and maybe and you can find that time by maybe when you're. Now, do you prefer print or digital when you're reading?
Mine would still be print.
Print.
Yeah,
Print.
Now, my husband's moved to digital, but I would still like to. I like to hold a book.
Called the book. So have you ever carried a book around with you?
I have carried a book and never touched it. Yes, you mean like on vacation? I'm going to take that and read it.
Not even vacation.
Yeah.
What about during the day? Do you ever carry a book with you, like you're sitting in line, or maybe you're in the doctor's office, or you're standing in line, you're sitting in, waiting for someone to get off work, or to
Right.
pick someone, or for a meeting, and maybe you're like, oh, I've got lunch, I'm going to go take 15 minutes and go sit.
And
here
I've seen
read.
you do that. I've
Yes.
seen her at Caffeine Addicts in Ringgold with her book
Yes,
and with
and
her
the book.
reading and things, material. So
Yes.
you do that well.
Thank you. Yeah, so there's whether it's relaxation. I know a lot of us read books for business purposes
Sure.
as well. But again, just using those windows, using that window, like where could you find the time? You can find time. You'd be surprised how much time we waste, whether it's scrolling through social media, schedule yourself time, or maybe you're watching too much television. television? Do you really need to watch all the news? No, you
Right.
can catch the highlights. Go read a book, because you're de-stressing. You're helping the body. You're giving it that dopamine that you need to have the happy hormones, the happy feelings, so we're not short with our spouse or friends or loved ones or with
Good
ourselves.
information, y'all.
So
really
yeah,
good,
so this
Loretta.
is one fun little exercise I like
And
to do.
really, I think a lot of it is just being intentional. That's what I
Yes.
hear.
Being
What you're
intentional.
saying is make a plan to relax. I mean, we make a plan for everything else,
We
right?
do. Yeah, we don't make time to invest in ourselves and say, I'm going to take a 15-minute walk at lunch, even if it's 2 or 3 days a week. Schedule it in there, and that's important. And and if something does happen and you can't do that, try to make it later that day, or try to do it the same day or the next day. Make
Right.
that up. Don't just let it go. You
That's
really
awesome.
should, because that's time invested in you. And one of my taglines is take care of yourself so you can help take care of others. Not that we don't already take care of, as women, take care of a lot of other people. But if we don't take care of ourselves, no one else will.
There you
Or
go.
we feel like we're a burden to someone else.
And I know a lot of what you do. I've seen the essential oils. You do a lot with that as well.
Yes.
What's a good relaxing essential oil that you might recommend to someone?
For most people, you hear lavender. Lavender is very popular, and I use lavender. But there are other oils too, depending on personal preference.
Okay.
Like I use bergamot. Bergamot is one of my favorites. It's a citrus oil. It's very uplifting. So
I
it's
like
very
the orange, just to
wild orange.
Yeah, just
Orange
to
is
kind
great.
of open.
Citruses.
Yes, any of the citrus.
Citrus, yeah.
Is I guess invigorating is the word.
Invigorating.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very, also makes me like thirsty too when I smell orange. Or makes you'll be washing your hands and you'll go, orange.
Yeah.
But not only are they, so they're uplifting, they're great mood enhancers. You can put them on your skin, wear them topically. You can put them in a diffuser. You can put them on your linens. You can, spray them in your
And
car.
some oils you can put like in your water or something like that,
Yes,
right?
internally,
You have
I
to
usually
know which
always
ones are
put,
right. But
yeah, a lot of there's over 39 different essential oils that I know of that you can use, you can take internally,
Okay.
and you can cook with them. You can cook
wow.
with them, you can clean with them. That's how safe they are, because a lot of what a lot of our forefathers used were plants. And the essential oils, you want to use a pure essential oil, something that's natural. And you want to keep them out of the sun, of course. There are some that are photosensitive, usually your citrus oils, so you don't want to put like wild orange or lemon on and go out in the sun.
Okay.
Yeah, you may have some sensitivity to that. But taking them internally, you can get some great benefits that way. I take them internally, I take them topically. If I have a headache coming on, a lot of people like to use peppermint. But again, everybody's different. Like you said, you like citrus. Some people, when we're doing, for example, yoga, a lot of yogis, we use sandalwood or myrrh or cedarwood. And it depends on your mood too that day. And that's great with the essential oils, is depending on your mood, the day, the minute, the hour. You can change out, like, okay, I need something invigorating after lunch. The citrus oils, or maybe you have a little blend in your diffuser, or just smelling them or rolling them on. Rolling them on your neck. We have some oils. Obviously, a lot of oils are safe for children as well. You can roll it on their spine to help them sleep at night.
Oh, wow.
Help them focus to do their homework. Yeah, homework. Roll them on their feet or their back. So definitely safe, and for pets. So if you have pets, I know a lot of people have pets that are anxious or hyper or have separation anxiety, or if they're afraid of loud noises, both cats, dogs, and equestrian. I've worked with some horses. Peppermint's also great for the horses on their legs for when they have some strained muscles. But usually you always want to do that with a carrier oil too. You don't want to put it directly on the skin, whether a human or four-legged fur baby.
okay.
So.
Good information. Well, we appreciate y'all being with us today. We'll come back in just a few minutes and talk with Loretta a little bit more about her business, Essential Health. And thank you for joining us. We're going to take a quick break. we're back. Catoosa Connects with the Catoosa County Chamber of Commerce. I'm Amy Jackson, and this is Loretta Bell. Loretta is a chamber member. Her company is Health Essentials, and we've been talking a little bit about, some different exercises for relaxation, some yoga techniques that you've talked about, some art therapy. My little crinkled piece of paper, if you didn't see it earlier, I'm really proud of it. My husband is an artist, so this is my best way. This is all I've got. I always say I can't draw stick people, but it was relaxing. It was fun. And to allow yourself to kind of be a little childlike. It's okay to do that, right?
You've got to let that child out of the box.
There you go. So, Loretta, I know we talked about your business a little bit before. You said you've been in the Chattanooga area in North Georgia for about 5 years. I know I met you probably about 4 years ago when you came into the chamber 3 or 4 years ago. And, you kind of jumped right in and became a chamber ambassador. And I just wanted you to tell us a little bit about what that's meant for your business and kind of what you do as a chamber ambassador, because a lot of people may not know what that is exactly.
Okay. Thank you. Well, as a chamber ambassador, as you mentioned earlier, we do get to go out and meet either prospective members of the chamber or new members or even existing members, because we like to find out, how we can help them. And that's the whole thing of business, helping others. And that's why I keep rejoining this chamber. Even though I live all the way up in Hickson, Catoosa has been like family to me. Awesome. And the good part of the family. Very friendly. They've always been very welcoming, but also they're willing to help with referrals and help you with your business if you need. As Amy mentioned earlier, our leads group is I think we have 5 leads groups, and you're allowed to come visit the leads groups. But then as you become a member, you can also you have the opportunity to become an ambassador if you'd like, and that depends on your schedule. You're not committed to a certain schedule or regimen, and you can do it when it fits in. But the opportunities are great because you make new business acquaintances, maybe new partnerships, maybe become friends. I have a lot of friends, people I consider friends now with the Catoosa County Chamber. And just down here, I feel like, it's my second home, if you will. So we get to go out. When I invited a friend of mine who I've known for several years, Nikki Reynolds. She's with Vivial, and she has a marketing background, extensive marketing, and she used to be with the other chambers. So she's familiar with the concept behind chambers. So as ambassadors, I brought her into our leads group, and then she joined the chamber. And then once she joined, every month we have an ambassador meeting. We find out who some of the new members are, and we get to go out and introduce ourselves. Now you can do it one-on-one by yourself. You can call them. You can go visit. So I partnered up with Nikki, because it's always more fun when you have a friend to go do something with, whether you're doing yoga or taking a class. You can you just feel
it's just more collaborative.
But just more comfortable. More comfortable, and you both share your own experiences. So we would go out and meet with them, and they like that. I found that the chamber members are very receptive, the new members, because they don't know what to expect, and they may have looked at the the benefits and signed off and said, okay, here, and then they get busy with their business. We come along and ask them, anybody else in your organization, do you want them to receive the newsletter? Because maybe there's obviously more than one person at that company that can benefit your business by going out and helping, whether it's an office manager or customer service rep or sales rep, to help promote the chamber, but let them know how they can get connected and better their business. Because obviously we don't, as business owners, we wear many hats, but it helps when we have other people to help promote.
There could be different representatives from one business to interact in the chamber, for sure.
Yes, and we have that. So we would go out and just give them a welcome packet, ask them a few quick questions, but you also have a fabulous website. You have lots of ways to connect people in the community. They can be involved as little or as much as they want, but we really try to encourage them to come in more frequently. The luncheons, the networking opportunities.
And that's what I tell people. A lot of people are, some people are like, y'all are really busy. Got a lot of things going on. And I know I told Michelle the other day, and I was like, but we don't expect you to do everything. We put a lot of things out there, a lot of different programs that are what we feel like, and chamber members have told us are valuable, but we know that you can't do them all. And that's really because different people are available at different times of the day. Different programs are, more important to a person based on the type of job. If you're an HR HR rep, then you're probably interested in HR seminars, versus someone in other capacities. So we do have a lot of different programs. If we have committees as well. And so, even like our women's network luncheon, we have a committee that plans those topics and those
awesome.
events. And so that, and I just appreciate, like I said, Loretta just jumped in with both feet, and but at the same time, you make it work for your schedule. So when you're out on your trips, which we follow along on social media to see where she is today at that time. But she'll say, I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. And, then we know, okay, she's gone for a couple of weeks. But then when she comes back in, she plugs right back in where she left off. So, we just appreciate all that you and the ambassadors do. It was fun today to kind of celebrate that a little bit.
It is. And it was a little chilly this morning, but it's a Monday, so it's a little different for us. So that was nice to be able to go and see a bunch of people we may not have seen in a while. Because we all, especially lately, a lot of people, whether they've been on vacation or they may have been under the weather or they travel for work as well. And we keep up with a lot of our other chamber members, and it's fun to know you still have that, again, collaborative friendship, whether it's business or personal, and to be able to we check in with each other. Hey, just checking in. How's this going? Or how can I help you with something? And sometimes it's they need I was doing a art show this weekend at a yoga studio in town, and she said, oh, I'm doing some rebranding, what do you know about that? I'm like, well, I don't do that anymore, but here's the name of a great marketing person, here's a great printer. So it's great to be able to share those contacts with people that we've already done business with. So that's the great thing about the chamber ambassadorship as well, or even if they're not a chamber member, and they're asking for help, we're more than happy to refer them because we know their services. We can say, yes, I've used them, and we do that a lot at our leads groups as well. We share how we go around and talk about each other's businesses, how, who did your name tags, or if they see something, say something, ask.
What I love to watch in the connections that are made is how y'all support each other's businesses, both the ambassadors and the leads groups. And whether it's sharing something on social media, which seems really easy to do, but people just don't think about it. You like it sometimes, but what helps businesses is when you share that information to your Facebook friends or your Instagram groups or whatever. So when you see that on social media, if you see something that you like, go ahead and share it.
Please
share that. That
we want you to share it.
That helps our small businesses so much more than you know. If you see a restaurant and they have a delicious meal or a deal that you think would be great, share that so that people, that kind of gives a reference for, oh, well, she likes that, so I need to go try that.
Or maybe you didn't know what they offered.
You didn't even know that it was happening. So, or events. A lot of times, one of the things I was going to mention, I know this morning I got up, and of course I'm the worst. I get up and I look at social media, Facebook usually first. And Bobby does a great job with that, but I'm always curious what's going on in town today, And Farm to Fork had Hugh Harris with Farm to Fork had a post out there. Saturday, they're having Santa Claus at Farm to Fork for free pictures with Santa from 4 to 8. You don't have to make a purchase. And now I shouldn't say free pictures; it just says pictures with Santa. So I don't know all the details, but I know it said no purchase necessary. So from 4 to 8 at Farm to Fork on Saturday, they've got that. Well, the first thing I did was, I'm sharing that because people need to know that's a good deal. If you miss Santa, maybe at the downtown Ringgold parade and some other places, here's one in Catoosa County on Saturday at Farm to Fork. So those things help small businesses so much. And by the way, if you go to Farm to Fork, they have a creamery and it's delicious. Get yourself a
Yvonne loves the creamery.
Yes. So get some ice cream or a piece of pie or something while you're there as well. So but that's something that we as just humans don't always think about. It was something that caught our eye, but we don't think, oh, somebody else might be interested in that and may not know about it. So that's a little detail that sometimes we spend too much time doing that. I'm fully aware of that. So we don't want to do too much. There's a happy balance.
You got to balance it.
There's a balance there. But help those small businesses out. I love one of our chamber members is Fix Boutique. And they were running a sale. I think it was Friday or Saturday. They had a percentage off or something if you made a sale, a purchase. And so I was like, oh, people need to know about that. So sharing that real quick. So that kind of thing, and any events that that I think the county and the cities do so many events in our area. Such neat things that are right here in our backyard. You don't have to go far. And we talked about last Monday. We talked about the Crossroads Unity Park Crossroads Unity Family Park that's having the gala. They're having a New Year's Eve gala. So if you see that out there, if you're not interested, maybe you know people that would really like to back that cause that maybe don't know about it. So the Chamber ambassadors do a great job about that, though, just supporting each other's business. And again, here's the word, being intentional about how you make your purchases. And that's what we ask you to think local first.
Yes.
Shop local first. We know that everything that you need is not here in this county potentially, but think about, is there somewhere that you could purchase it here before you just go out or pit?
Finding out local, finding local instead of supporting the big A, the big. Because you don't know, like you can put on Facebook, hey, I'm looking for a recommendation or referral. Who's got the best pizza if you got family coming into town, or who's got. I'm looking for last minute gift ideas. Obviously, I know our group is wonderful about sharing. Just post on there, and we're happy to share. Like, oh, so and so knows so and so, or what was that? There was. Somebody went to this store. What do they sell at that store? I've heard of that store, but I've never been in there. It's great to get.
So recommendations are always good, and the Chamber ambassadors do a great job at that. We mentioned Pam's Place earlier. We're actually having a shop local breakfast. The Chamber is at the Ringgold Depot on Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Reservations are actually due today, but if that's something you would like to come to, you can give the Chamber a call. We can try to get you in. But so it's $17, but we're doing just a focus on what's available in Ringgold and Fort Oglethorpe, and so that's something that we're going to do. And hopefully after the breakfast, everybody will go down and shop some of the stores in downtown Ringgold and beyond. So
new ones there too.
But we're using Pam's Place. Pam's Place catered today.
Very good.
And then they're also going to cater that shop local. Actually, it's kind of fun. They're going to do the breakfast part, like bacon, eggs, and things like that. And then Caffeine Addicts is going to do the coffee, and then some Danishes for us. So
she has keto too. So if you're looking for keto,
she does. They do a great job. If you've never been in Caffeine Addicts on Nashville Street in Ringgold, that's another great place to shop. So and they're open sometimes early, and then some evenings later as well. So it's always good to check on their Facebook page. They put an up-to-date listing with the holidays. Some things may change a little bit. And by the way, Denny and Chris Capehart just got married on Sunday, so congratulations to the owners of Caffeine Addicts. We just love y'all and appreciate all that you do for our area. We talked about the different causes. So our nonprofit of the month this month, you've actually got their color on purple, is North Georgia Healthcare. And they're located on Alabama Highway, and they do a lot of great things in our community. It is a clinic. Anybody can go there, but they do treat some patients on a sliding scale if they need help to pay their bill and things like that. So again, North Georgia Healthcare, located on Alabama Highway. It's that blue roof building, if you've ever kind of gone down past Food Lion, and it's on the right. And they actually have a swimming pool in there that the YMCA uses for swimming lessons.
Wow.
So yes,
swimming's very good for you.
So there you go.
Great stress reliever. Yes.
And I mentioned the YMCA. The North Georgia YMCA is actually they're trying to kick off a class called Live Strong, and it is for cancer survivors. It's a 12-week class, and it really doesn't. If you may be over cancer or you may be in the middle of treatments, recently diagnosed, but it is a 12-week. I think it's twice a week for 12 weeks. And so if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, there's information on the Chamber Facebook page. I think there's actually a video, but you can also get information by calling 423-877-3317. I'm sorry, 3517. 423-877-3517 about the YMCA program. So that's something that they're looking to bring here to North Georgia. You don't have to go downtown.
That's great.
They just need folks that kind of fit the plan of what they're trying to provide help for. So that's that. And then our tourism partner of the month is the 6th Cavalry Museum.
Awesome.
If you've not been by there lately, so it's on Barnhart Circle in Fort Oglethorpe. So you go down 27 right before you get to the battlefield. You make a right onto Barnhart Circle. And they got a grant and have a beautiful mural on the front of the building.
Go look at that.
Yeah, if you have not looked at it lately, either check their Facebook page. I think there are some pictures there too. If you're not out for a drive just right now, but you might want to check that out. I do think I saw that they're gonna. I think this Friday may be their last day until the first of the year. They're gonna close. They close for a couple of weeks around the holidays for the actual tour part, but they did a great job as part of the Fort Oglethorpe Veterans Day celebration.
So I
and
think I
had
saw
a lot of
pictures
vendors
that.
and things out in that field, in the polo field and all that. So Christmas Keeper does a great job. But they are our tourism partner of the month for the chamber. And then every Monday we have a different member of the week, and the member of the week that we're highlighting this week is Arrow Exterminators. So we appreciate them being a chamber member. They've been a member of the chamber for probably a little over a year. Again, doesn't have to be a new business, just somebody new to the chamber. And so you have to be a member of the week. You have to be a member for a little over a year. So you can reach Arrow Exterminators at 770-862-0151. So again, Arrow Exterminators is our member of the week. Something fun that's coming up this Friday. I think I mentioned it at the Ambassador Luncheon today. At our Catoosa County Stocking Full of Love. Y'all have been great to donate, and I know some letters went out, and the Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Sisk and his wife Meredith and family do a great job in the Sheriff's Department. Beth Sullivan is amazing over there. We meet monthly about the Stocking Full of Love, and so donations. There was a toy run a couple of Sundays ago, I think it was the week before last, even in the rain, and people came out and brought lots of toys for donations. So they've had phone lines open to be able to register to pick up the toys. So that is going to be the pickup is Saturday. But if you're interested in helping to set up, that's on Friday at 4:00. So if that's something you're interested in, you can give the chamber a call, 706-965-5201, and we can give you information about that. We always need volunteers. Quite frankly, it's a very humbling time, but it's amazing to see the support of our community and how they come out. And I know, Kiwanis of Fort Oglethorpe has donated, and Kiwanis of Ringgold, both to Stocking Full of Love of Catoosa and Walker counties. I think Walker County had their distribution last weekend, so they've already given out the toys and things that they have. And then Catoosa County will be the setup again will be on Friday afternoon, and then the distribution will be on Saturday. So hats off to the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Sisk and Meredith for all that they do in our community for the Stocking Full of Love, providing Christmas to those who need just a little bit of help. And then another thing that has been going on with Catoosa County DFACS. Andy is in your leads group, Andy Johnson, and he is the director of Catoosa County Department of Family and Children's Services. They just do a great job, and I think he said 159 kids, something like that.
Yes, and our Leads group has adopted 1 or 2 children, and we've all been either donating, usually cash, to buy gift certificates for them, or we have a specific list so we know if it's a girl or a boy, what sizes they need, what they're looking for. So
and the teenagers are harder to buy for, and they have specific things that they want, and so it's just a great way to give back. They did a really neat thing, the Amazon wish list, and you could get on, and they had very specific things identified that the kids wanted, and nothing crazy, just just things that they needed and wanted, and
even if it's just a jacket.
Exactly. And but Catoosa County really came out and helped with them. I think Andy said all the kids have been provided for. Any additional donations, what they like to do is buy some things up so that when they have a new child come into the foster system, they have some things to give them more over and above what is required. They get a certain
I think they get to go into like a room and pick out stuff too, which is really nice.
So I love that, and our community is so good to take care of our own and beyond, quite frankly. So we just appreciate that. I was trying to say, the Georgia Winery, I've got one note here, is having Christmas open houses too on every Saturday. The time is from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. And if you've never been, so we took the Leadership Catoosa class there. We did it. We got to do a behind-the-scenes tour of the winery. It's very interesting how they do what they do and how they do it so well. But they have appetizers. If you're just looking for a place and you want to, even if you don't drink, quite frankly, you can go and just get some delicious appetizers at the Georgia Winery, which is located right by exit 350, right by the I-75 there.
Great gifts too. They have nice holiday gifts. Even like I said, even if they don't drink. Yeah,
there are other things. There are cheeses and spreads, different dips and things like that they have, and they will put it all together for you in a basket with and put the cellophane, the big bow, the pretty bow. You can take it with you. They can ship it for you. So that's another great gift idea that's local. and will support one of our local businesses. So we just really appreciate it. They get a lot of traffic off the interstate too.
Somebody was asking me about a winery recently, maybe the Leeds group, somebody new that just moved here. I'm like, oh, there's, and they have, both red and white, and I think there's our muscadine. Most of their
yes.
blends.
And they do free tasting, so you can go in and I think you can taste up to like 5 types of wines or something like that. And their staff does a really good job. It's like I said, if you've not been in there, it's a beautiful store and venue. They do have, like, down the hill as you go in, there's some little seating down there, and there's actually some patio seating as well.
Yeah.
So on a day like today, it's, I know it's December, but you can still go out and check out the Georgia Winery. But Saturday from 1 to 5, they will be having the the Christmas open houses. So they've already had about 2 of those, I guess. So they've got at least 1 more to go. So I'm trying to see. It looks like. Oh, what about a paint class? Are you doing any paint classes coming up?
Paint classes, yes. I do paint classes. Either I can do lessons one-on-one. I do workshops and classes. I usually do them the first or second Friday night at Caffeine Addicts downtown in Ringgold.
Okay.
6 o'clock, usually $30 a person. You can also buy gift certificates. And I also teach at both yoga and art at Lionhearts Fitness. So they're welcome to, again, check out my website or my social media pages, Facebook, for scheduling. And
what's
in
that
January,
website? Let's give them the website one more time.
Website, they can go to essentialhealthll.com, or you can do beyogaful.com. That'll also take you there. And that has some information in there about my classes and what I offer, contact info, gift certificates, things like that. January 7th, I think it is, the first Friday, will be a paint class, and we do acrylic on canvas. And that's usually mostly for adults, depending on the class. I have started offering some kids classes sometimes on Saturdays. And when I do Lionhearts, I always do a fundraiser for them. I like to raise for Lionhearts.
Chamber members working together.
Yes, partnerships, great way, and that's how we met. I met Shell Lucetta from Lionhearts, and she came to our Leeds group, and she's another go-getter. She's out there, both feet, hitting the ground. No grass grows under that lady. Inspiration to all of us. So those are coming up. And then in February, I have a couple of more classes scheduled, workshops. Again, most of these are all open. Just call ahead, RSVP, because I need to have enough supplies on hand.
So you provide all the supplies for the $30?
I provide everything. If they want to show up early and have dinner on them, that's great. At Caffeine Addicts, help support them. Great time for soups and sandwiches over there. She has some great corn chowder and all that. But
now, do you actually help? I mean, tell them about the structure? Because I, again, cannot draw stick people as I have shown here.
That's great because we do fun art, not fine art. But I want people to enjoy their paintings, and obviously they have, because they keep coming back. So repeat offenders are welcome. But again, acrylic on canvas. I bring the paintbrushes, the tablecloths, you name it, and the water, the canvases, and I teach you step by step and techniques how to hold the brush.
Now, is that something if say a company or wanted to have something and have you come in? Was that something you would offer as well?
Yes, I have a individual that recently reached out to me. I can come to your business and do team leading or some fun de-stressors, just kind of a great employee appreciation, if you will, or customers, whether it's yoga or art. Healing, and I definitely work with veterans. So if you're a veteran or know someone who would like to come out, I offer scholarships. I do try to offer. I do obviously some free classes for my yoga for my veterans, and
I know you're a veteron also.
Yes,
and we really appreciate your service
thank you.
too.
It's it's just as I was telling someone this morning. It was a big learning experience, and I believe that we learn attention to detail, which is very important. You learn respect, and you learn how to survive. You learn how to, and that's one thing with art and yoga is it's very beneficial, as I mentioned earlier, the efficacy of both of those being healing. And even if you just, you spend 5 minutes doodling, that's okay. Nobody has to see it. It's just for you. You don't have to be an artist. If you want to draw stick figures, that's fine. If you want to just doodle, we have classes for that too, called, doodling. Literally, that's the name of it.
There you go.
But it does help with your self-esteem. It helps with de-stress, improving. It's great for physical and psychological help, but also just being carefree. Like you said, you were having fun, and that's the important part. You're actually getting a lot more benefits from it.
Well, Loretta, I really appreciate you being with me
Thank
today.
you.
And
I enjoyed it.
Again, essentialhealthll.com. or 423-605-4719. You can also find her on YouTube at BE Yoga Full, Full, again on YouTube. So thank you again, Loretta, for joining me, and I appreciate again all that you do is for the Chamber Ambassadors. And I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much.